Have you ever had a few really great days after a breakup, maybe even a few good weeks, and you think, I'm finally getting better? Until out of nowhere, maybe you hear a song, maybe you have a dream, you have a memory hit you, and all of a sudden it feels like it all comes crashing down. You're missing him all over again. And your very first thought is, great, I guess all of my progress is out the door. If you felt this, you are definitely not alone. But what if I told you that this moment is often where some of the deepest healing is actually happening? Because this is one of the most misunderstood parts of healing. And once you understand it, you can finally stop mistaking progress for failure and move on and reclaim your life. So, with that, hello, my loves. My name is Gracie Rotman. If you're new here, welcome. If you are a returner, and Chloe came early to introduce herself. This is Chloe, and we make videos about healing. Yes, that's my mic, and she wants to go explore. But I make healing content where I teach people how to navigate the healing process with confidence and clarity so that you can stop mistaking progress for failure and finally move on, let go, and reclaim your life. Fuck yeah. So let's get straight into the video. That scenario I started with is something I experienced countless amounts of times when I was going through the healing process. And my immediate thought when, oh my gosh, hello. My immediate thought whenever that would happen is, seriously, after everything I've done, I'm right back where I started. Or I thought I was over this, and maybe I just haven't healed quite as much as I thought I have. But knowing everything that I know now, the reason I was feeling so discouraged in these moments isn't because of what I was feeling, but rather because of what I was making those feelings mean. The truth is that feelings don't come with a built in meaning, we give them meaning. And so the only fact in this situation would be that I missed my ex boyfriend. Thinking that I hadn't healed because of it, that's not a fact. That's an interpretation. And quickly, I want to disclaim that your feelings are very, very real. The only point I'm trying to make is that the story your mind makes about those feelings might not be real. Because contrary to what I believed, missing him was not a sign that I had erased all my progress. It was simply another moment of grief. Because think about it. When you lose someone that you loved and maybe loved for years up until that point, you are not just losing a person. You're losing someone that you talk to every day, someone your routines revolved around, someone you literally pictured your future with and pretty much organized your entire life around. Of course, there are going to be moments where your heart realizes that there's an absence. Missing someone is a very, very normal part of the healing process, and it does not mean that your healing stopped. It means that you loved. It means that you're grieving. It means that you are human. And as I've written in the Healing Handbook, if your current self was built through years of repeated thought, behavior, emotional responses, and identity rehearsal, why would a new self emerge instantly just because we decided once? The answer is it wouldn't. And I know what you're thinking. Okay, Gracie, maybe missing him is a normal part of the process. But how could you say that I'm progressing forward in the process if I'm missing him? Well, the truth about healing is that it is not a process measured by what you feel. It is a process that is measured by how you respond to what you feel. Because before, like I mentioned, when I missed him, I believed it meant something. Maybe I believed it meant I should text him. Lord knows I did that too many times. Maybe I believed it meant that leaving was a mistake. Sometimes I believed it meant I was never going to heal. But now I know that I can miss someone without believing that I need to go back. That I can feel grief without letting it define my decisions. I can have a hard day without making it mean that I failed. The feeling never disappeared in any of these scenarios. My relationship to it changed. And that is what healing is about. It's not about never feeling grief again. It's about what you do and how you react when that grief does come up. It's about making room for that experience, no matter what it's saying, no matter what it feels like, no matter how contradictory it is. Because humans are complex beings, and that's okay. It's okay for two things that seem opposite to coexist at once. You can miss somebody and know that leaving was the right decision. You can grieve somebody without it meaning that you want them back. You can love somebody and recognize that it wasn't healthy for you. That is one of the biggest parts of healing, is making room for that contradiction. And I don't know if you've seen this, but in my banner on my YouTube, it says in that little yin and yang, through the darkness, meet the light. Because it is only through accepting and making space for that contradiction that we can get through it, meet the light again after the darkness. And so, like I said, a huge part of healing is making room for that contradiction without allowing the contradiction to force you or to convince you that it's true, that it's urgent, that you need to act right now, or that it means something that it doesn't. So the next time that you miss them, instead of asking yourself, why am I feeling this way? And instantly concluding that you're back at square one, try asking yourself something different. Ask, how am I responding differently than I would have X months ago, X weeks ago, X years ago? Because maybe you still cried, but you didn't text them. Maybe you still miss them, but you didn't spend 3 hours looking at old pictures. Maybe you still feel the urge to go back, but instead of following it, you sit with it. You allow yourself to cry. You call a friend. You go for a walk. You remind yourself why you left. You stay instead of abandoning yourself in that moment. Do you see the difference? The feeling stayed the same. It is only ever the response to it that changes. And that is where your progress in healing lives. For so long, I believed that healing was a straight line, that every single day I was supposed to feel a little bit better than the day before. But after years of going on this journey, I now know that it was never meant to be a line. And I don't know why nobody tells us this, but it was always a spiral. I have this wonderful graphic in my healing handbook, which I'm putting on the screen. You're not going in circles, you just need to see it differently. And I'd like to read another excerpt because once you understand the concept that healing is more like a spiral, healing becomes not easier, but much easier to navigate. And that makes a huge difference. So think of a spiral staircase. Each time you go around, it may seem like you're returning to the same place, but in reality, you are standing higher than before. This is what is so crucial about understanding growth as a spiral. A spiral revisits similar places, but not from the exact same level. To heal and to grow means to come back to the same themes, the same wounds, the same fears, but each time there's the possibility of meeting them with a little more awareness, a little more truth, a little more capacity, and a little more self-possession. It means you will revisit similar terrain, but you will not be the same person meeting it. This is the only way that healing and change can be fully realized and deepened. And in another part, I say that being triggered does not mean that we haven't healed, but rather it's a very important part of the process. Without being triggered, without missing them, without any of that, we wouldn't know what's left unhealed, and we wouldn't know what needs to be met in that moment and grieved and let out and let go. So if you're in one of those moments right now where you miss them, where your heart hurts, where you're questioning whether leaving was the right decision, I gently urge you not to fight it, not to judge yourself for it, and not to panic. Instead, let yourself miss them. Let it hurt. Let it hurt so you can let it heal. Let yourself grieve. You are a human being going through an incredibly difficult time. Loss is one of the, if not the hardest thing we have to experience in this realm of earth and being a human. And every single time that you come back to this feeling with a little more awareness, a little more self-trust, a little more self-possession, and a little more willingness to stay, you are healing. Healing is not about never missing them again. It's about not letting missing them determine your next decision. And those are two very different things. If this video resonates with you, it's all clipped out of my healing handbook, which is now available. This is the exact roadmap I wish I had been given when I had left a toxic relationship to help me navigate the process of healing, to show me what is right and what is wrong, what's a misconception and what is truth. It's like a light through the darkness. So if you're tired of feeling lost every time a hard day comes up, It's linked below in the description. And if you're not ready for that, grab my free letter for healing, which will also be there. I'm sending you all so much love. Again, please let me know if any of this resonates with you, if you have any questions. Have you felt this? Have you thought you were failing? I want to hear from you guys. You guys are why I do this. And yeah, love you guys. Bye.